My friend said, "Dearest, your analysis is perfect, and Giovanni Scallamana has great potential. At the moment, he is obviously focused on the technical and breathing aspects and less on coloratura, which allows the emotions that this beautiful melody should convey to be transmitted to the listener. And without taking anything away from Tucker, I believe he should listen to Franco Ricci's version, for which I am sharing the YouTube video link here. It is the most intense interpretation I have ever heard, and I would love to hear your opinion on it. When I sang it, I was also very inspired by this version, full of the pathos that the composer surely wanted to express. For me, it's spine-tingling." My response: first of all, thank you for your advice regarding my student. You mentioned that he focuses on vocal technique and breathing, and indeed, he is currently focusing on breathing techniques. What you said about color variation being an important element in conveying emotions through beautiful melodies is also crucial. In vocal teaching, we generally place breathing technique, tone adjustment, and emotional expression on equal footing. However, in my view, how should we rank the importance of these technical aspects of singing? For more than half a century, this has been the approach to teaching and learning. But why is it that today's singers are far inferior to those of the past? Why haven't tenors like Richard Tucker and Franco Ricci and many other outstanding tenors emerged today? And why won't they emerge in the future? The key issue lies in this. Today's tenors have not mastered proper breathing techniques. Their singing is entirely based on the throat, projecting sound from the mask forward. While this may create a certain sound effect, this method, with its artificial resonance and vibrato, is technically incorrect. I will elaborate on this in the future. What I want to say is that I recommend placing breathing technique at the forefront of vocal technique. Once the correct breathing technique is mastered, anything can be sung. In the future, I will communicate with you via voice and demonstrate it for you. I completely agree with your suggestion to study Franco Ricci's version of I Te Vuria Vasa. As for my student practicing Richard Tucker, this is his desire, and I told him that he can try learning from him. I also told him that every singer, at some point in their development, will find a particular singer whose style suits them best. This is determined by their own vocal level and the vocal characteristics of the singer they are studying. We must seize such opportunities in life, as they are the best chance for progress. This learning process is not permanent. When a singer has studied a particular technique to a certain level, they may feel that they have learned enough from that singer and need to move on to studying another tenor in order to progress more quickly. This is the correct growth process for an outstanding singer. Currently, my student is learning from Richard Tucker, and considering his original level, there has been significant progress in his singing. However, as far as imitating a singer to completely change his vocal characteristics to match that of the tenor he is studying, my student has not yet achieved this. We can assume that if my student studies Franco Ricci, his singing method would be based on resonance cavity tension and dynamic energy, with breath support that is not particularly low. It doesn't follow Caruso's idea of sinking the breath to the bottom of the abdomen for singing. Now that we've analyzed this, we should consider a question. As a learner, what is your goal? Do you want to become an all-around singer who can sing both lyrical folk songs and the dramatic tenor roles in operas like Otello? Yes. Student, where is your goal? My teaching approach would be completely different depending on that. If you only want to sing folk songs, collaborating with a band for concerts, then learning Franco Ricci is sufficient. However, if you aim to become the world's #1 tenor, I personally believe that at the beginning stages, you should not study Franco Ricci. Instead, you should learn from Franco Bonisoli. Do you understand what I mean? If my student were to take this approach, I would also provide demonstrations of Bonisoli's singing and show the student how to learn from him. The song E Te Vasa has been performed by over 20 singers, all of whom are worth learning from. So, who should we choose to study first? My opinion is that we should pick the singer whose techniques are easiest to learn, not to become exactly like them, but to master their breathing technique. If a singer doesn't have a breath column within their body and cannot draw the breath into their abdomen, they will inevitably rely on facial breath to express emotions. And facial breath can only be powered by the throat, which is an incorrect singing method. The issue now is this. When you choose to learn from a singer, you must completely abandon your own singing style and fully become the tenor you are learning from. You must produce a sound as good as theirs. If you can't produce that sound, you need to think about why. I can produce the voices of hundreds of true tenors in history, so I know that as long as you master the true technique and undergo proper training, you can sing like any tenor, including Caruso. Why can't you sing it? If you study a tenor and you can't replicate many of their beautiful sounds, then your imitative learning is meaningless. We must learn to sing exactly like the one we study. I've demonstrated to my American students that if you want to sing like Gigli, you must use his breathing technique and resonance coordination. If you're learning Monaco, you should sing exactly like him. Otherwise, the learning is pointless. I've imitated and learned from hundreds of tenors, and I can achieve close approximations of their styles. When you master their individual techniques and styles, only then can you say you're ready to create your own singing style. Today's singers can't even properly sing a middle voice, yet they claim they want to stick to their own vocal characteristics. Where's the characteristic? It's all the wrong kind of characteristic. So, until we have mastered the true singing technique, we should not practice scales, sing vowels, or engage in similar exercises on our own. Doing so will quickly develop an incorrect voice, and once a habit is formed, it is very difficult to correct. Strictly speaking, today's tenors mostly sing with a throat-dominant technique, which I refer to as throat voice, and I consider it the cancer of a singer's voice. It is very hard to cure. Caruso said the same thing. When learning vocal technique, we must have a reference, just like learning English. You don't start by thinking about English grammar and then forming sentences or filling in words to create phrases. So I have told my students, when you sing a note, you must tell me who sings it like that. Who are you learning from? It's like English. If you memorize the everyday phrases used in English-speaking countries and substitute in the words, you will speak authentic English.